Welcome to the Well Within radio podcast. I am your host, Shalina Lit. Alex.
Hi.
Ital Alex.
What?
So, you're just my best friend right now. Because everyone's like, Shalina, whoa, you look good, I'm just like, that. Thank you so much. No, but on a real, wow. So, why is everyone saying that I look good, Alex? Let's just start there.
Wow, Parasite Cleanse Program. But your discipline, it was all about your discipline. If you didn't put in the work, then you definitely wouldn't have reaped the rewards.
Yeah, it is. I think discipline is one thing, like you have to be prepared. But the support that you gave through the program was definitely phenomenal in terms of the journaling. That was something that I had to depend on because there was so much happening every single day. So for me, when I look back now at what I've journaled, like it just really makes me grateful of the journey. And then the ingredients, the recipes, and just really there was no excuse for me to call you. Do you know what I mean? Like, because everything that was like, every time I had a question, I was like, hold on a minute, let me just check the stuff that's been sent. And it was there. So yes, great way to introduce you really, because of course it's changed my life. And I'm not exaggerating. Like, I think people do need to understand that I'm someone who is very active. And for the longest time ever, I tried to shift me belly flat. Me belly flat. Look, see, I'm already just manifesting where it's at right now. It's not fat, it's flat. The L has gone. Yeah, seriously, it wasn't just about that. There has been spiritual changes. People are talking about my hair. Yes, my hair quality has changed. My eyesight has even improved. You were like, interesting with that one. You didn't expect that one, did you?
No, because I know that obviously it gets rid of a lot of mucus and, the acidosis in the body and all the parasites. And then you made sure you had the fungal capsules too. So that also does so well together with those parasite capsules. It just clears a lot of the gunk, a lot of the extra stuff that's in the body from eating in disrespectful ways. And I say disrespectful ways because most of us eat in disrespectful ways to our body. And if you're disrespecting yourself, how can you really love yourself? Including me. I had that moment where I put on mad weight within 9 months. I don't know how it happened, but it did. And then I was like, nah, I had to get strict with myself because I know better.
Yeah, respectively, we were having a giggle, weren't we, when we looked at a photo like, whoa, who is that? Like, because I've never really looked at you as being someone who's overweight, but I think it was the inflammation, the swelling in the face, and we've both had noticeable changes. So has it always been like this for you? Like, have you always been a good girl with the eating?
No, like it changed in 2012. Even 2009 I did 9 months raw, and that shifted my perspective on how we eat and the fact that we consume way too much. I think most of us, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, we feel like we have to consume, and in between that it's snacks, and that consuming goes with everything else.
Did you say 9 months?
Literally I did 9 months raw and changed my whole perspective on myself and spiritual journey, and it tuned me in so much more to my own self and my own body. I did end up going back to eating meat in 2011, the end of 2011, about October. I decided, nope, enough's enough. So I shifted everything apart from fish. And then 2012, I let go of the fish. And the transformation was just incredible.
Yeah.
But then I had to make snacks that,
I'm getting anxiety thinking about giving up meat and fish. I'm not going to lie, you're talking and I'm like, is that the next level? Oh, Lord. So, what has your relationship with food been like then? Because I don't think, was you surrounded by, family that were eating like this from the get-go? Like, I'm wondering...
Definitely.
Being
born in a Jamaican household, both mum and dad, born and grown in Jamaica, they ate a certain way and cooked a certain way. So I was brought up around that, and especially my dad, he eats pork, everything. He doesn't care. He's eating it all. But he's a really good cook. So obviously it would be hard in certain ways if you didn't have that discipline in self and knew that it was best for your own self. So it wasn't hard once I made that decision internally that this is no longer for me, and then tried it and then seen the reaction of my body. There was no way that I could go back. And then I ended up converting my mom through her just watching me.
Yeah.
My dad, he ain't gonna convert. He's just not having it.
You look good, but I'm still gonna go eat my, give me my, you know. Yeah, I get that. So I guess what I'm getting at is really, let's talk about the shop, because people that, when I'm with you, people are like, the shop.
Yep.
And when I'm not with you, they're like, the shop. I'm like, I feel like I wish I'd come to the shop. Do you know what I mean? So tell me about the shop.
That was a whole spiritual hub. I didn't even realise that what I created until people started saying it to me, because relationships had started because of that shop. People had met each other there because of that shop. People would come, reason, talk, and really grow within that shop. But it started from me doing pop-ups, doing cooking classes. From that, I was just popping up at different festivals, selling out like crazy. And then from there, it ended up as a market store, which expanded into a shop. And yeah, that was 3 years in Digbeth, a year in each other place. It was powerful. It was amazing time of my life, but at the same time, it was tiring. I burned out. This is why I had to let it go. It's not I wanted to, I had to, because my body was telling me it was time to stop and be still. I noticed I was neglecting myself because I was giving all my energy to everybody else that was coming into the shop, because people weren't just coming in for food. They're coming in and like, oh, where's Alex? Where's Alex? Where's Alex? Where's Alex? People that I didn't even know. Like, you posting this on social platforms, you know how much you've helped me. And it's like, they always want to come and say something to me, give me a hug. And sometimes I didn't have it for myself.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it shows, because, you know, they come up to me, you know, with that kind of compassion. You say your name like, oh, Alex, like, you know. So you mentioned spirituality.
Yeah.
You know, deeper dive podcasts.
Yes.
Listen, from the moment you released the first one with Steph, I was totally, you know, just in it. You know, I think not only the guests that you have on, but the way that you question, the way that you tap into the depth of who they really are and get them sharing. How did that come about?
I've always noticed that I've had a way of communicating when it comes to people. And with my cousin doing astrology, he'd always look into my natal chart and tell me, like, listen, you're really good when it comes to communication, so you need to do something with it. I'd always wanted to do a podcast, but every time I tried, it just didn't come about in the right way. And then when I started going to uni to do content creation and marketing, that module popped up, podcasting, and I was just so happy. I was like, yep, I'm gonna do that now. So utilizing that space in order to create my own, and that is where it just all came from, and it thrived from there. People, every time they're in my presence, they have really raw, transparent conversations. I just have the ability to act that out of them. But it's a healing process also. It's not just a podcast, you know. It helps others, but also heals them in a way too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think most of your podcasts have gone viral immediately because of the segments that you choose to put on. But that means that you're not an easy person to be around, because you know what? If you slip in, Alex is going to tell you about yourself.
I've always been that way though, you know. I've always been very straightforward and blunt, shall we say. I've calmed down a lot more. I just observe a lot more. I feel like the closer you are to me, the more I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Because I want you to grow. I want you to evolve. I want you to be a greater version of yourself. But also I say to people, yo, tell me too. Even if I don't like to hear it at that moment, I'll come to you and I'll, you know, have a conversation and I'll thank you. Because sometimes we've all got blind spots, man. Like, no one's perfect. And if that's the case, then I want to know my blind spots too.
Yeah. And I also love and respect the vulnerability. I have to slow some words down, man. My tongue's in the way. Vulnerability, right? That you were having when you were speaking about grief. Like, and the thing is, when I seen it, I was like, I can't watch this now. I need to watch it when I know I can watch it because the emotion just immediately, I felt it coming up because you were just speaking your truth. I hope you don't mind sharing a little bit
That's fine.
about grief and
grief is
the journey
something
with
that that hit me from a young age. You know, about 4 years old was the first. That was my brother's nan. And I remember the whole funeral. I remember how my brother was. I remember being in the funeral car. I remember everything from it. And then after that, it was just like, I've had like 3 uncles, 2 aunts, multiple friends, my brother, 2 of my brother's baby mothers. It was just continuous for me. And I always used to wonder, why is it that I'm caught in a spiral of grief? None of my other friends are. They didn't understand it, so I felt like I was just in a bubble by myself. No one understood it, so I had to just keep it to myself. But it consumed me at moments, so I'd end up punching holes in doors because I'm trying to get the frustration out.
May I ask how old you were around these?
When my brother passed away, 16.
Okay.
So before
really
that,
young.
I'd had a lot of grief that happened before that. But I lost my favourite uncle in January, and then by May, my brother had gone. So it was literally such a short space of time. And then 13 years after that, his baby mother committed suicide. And, you know, after that, the other baby mother passed away. It was just like continuous, one after the other. And like I said, multiple friends in between. I got fed up of seeing lifeless bodies. And it sounds crazy to even say it like that. I started asking questions that probably people wouldn't ask. But I'm looking at a body and say, well, that ain't you then. If you're here, then where's the essence of you? You know, where's the soul that is you? Where does that go after? And I've got questions, so I started to study and look into things. So yeah,
I guess when we lose loved ones, it's difficult to let go.
Most definitely.
And I guess what you did was use that emotion to kind of channel it in something positive, and understanding the spiritual journey. So how was that impacted you today, and how did it help you with your grief journey? Let's stick with the grief around at the moment.
Yeah, in regards to the grief, I felt like I was also grieving parts of myself, but didn't even realise it, because the chemistry that you have with one person is never the same with another, even if it's siblings from the same mother, even if it's friends in the same circle. Every single person's going to have different chemistry, and I didn't realise that I was grieving parts of myself that I would never get back because I can't have that joke with anybody else. So then I had to start healing those parts of myself that I was grieving and understand that. But with the spirituality, the doors open when my brother passed, because I would dream him and he would tell me things and it would happen. You know, like even down to things with his children. He'd say certain things and say, Mom, this and that. And she'd be like, no, that's not the case. And it would happen. And she's like, how did you know that? I said, he came to me and he told me in my dream. And then from there, it just started to open up even more to me being able to communicate with the other side and send messages to other people. And they're looking at me like, what?
Yeah.
Like, she said what? How did you know that? And I'm saying, because, you know, your aunt's here or your grandma's here. So that really did open. Yeah, it opened up a whole portal for me. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. But then when you know that that essence of that person continues to live on and transforms into a different mode, shall we say, you know, lives in a different realm, it brings you more solace. They just don't have a body right now. But you're still going to miss that, you know, that living, breathing essence of them.
Yeah. You skid through so much there. I'm going to rewind you back a little bit because I think you touched on so many different things, especially about the fact that part of us are grieving the death of ourselves almost.
Yep.
I can so relate, because I was watching a video today. I hope I don't cry when I say it. A video today of me and Joella,
Right.
and it was so difficult because I realised I miss her so much, because she brought out a side of me that no one has yet to do, you know, the energy that she had and whatnot. So I think that's really important. I hope I don't offend you when I say this, because I know there's a lot of listeners now that will maybe be coming from a very religious orthodox point of view, and they might now be like, oh, you know, this is demonic, it's witchcraft, you know. And I don't mean to offend you. I hope you're comfortable talking about it. But, you know, have you been cautious when you are tapping into the world of spirituality and realms, because it's a controversial topic.
Yeah, very controversial topic. And I feel like when people are in certain systems and caught in certain systems consciously, you know, whether that be any particular religion or the way that they've been brought up or told that certain things are, anything out of that, they then like, no, that's got to be the opposite of what I've been taught.
Yeah.
But it's just esoteric information, esoteric knowledge that's hidden, you know, occult information and all that means is hidden. Do you know, it's hidden information that isn't shown to the masses fully like that. So I'm so used to people saying those types of things. It's because they don't understand, and because they don't understand, that's okay. But I've been seeing these things from I was a child, so it's not something that just all of a sudden happened. It's been happening from I was little. I was able to see things on people and attachments attached to people and stuff, so it was normal for me to actually see. I started to shut it down at certain points because I understood that not everyone was actually seeing this. But just like the same way you feel energy swelling in your stomach, we know that there's an energetic realm that exists. Oh, I've got a headache, you know, there's a pain in it. We know that there's an energetic realm that exists. So we are not just a body. And when we think like that, we will think in only 3D terms, you know, only earthly terms, when there's so much more to self.
Yeah. And I have to say, going back to the Parasite Cleanse, that there is no denying that doing the cleanse almost raised my frequency. And I know from a religious background, we say that fasting and, you know, prayer brings you closer to God, you know. And so I do think there is a lot of truth in a sense of us cleansing our energy.
Definitely.
And, you know, the more that I read into certain things, I was like, okay, people do rituals over food. You know, you don't know if somebody's cooking some food. I'm going to big up, Double B's Catering. And they're based in Legacy, right? And basically I went there and I could hear the mom in the kitchen singing her heart out. And I was like, that's going to be some sweet food right there. You know what I mean? Because that energy, you know, it can't be played with. And I think there is a cleansing that takes place. And it is evident, I think, that we are in a culture right now where a lot of people are turning to holistic medicines. And there is a very thin line with the crossover of when they are stepping out of their faith boundaries and the values that it says about turning to holistic medicine. How have you maneuvered that? Do you work with people that come to you with a religious background but say, I want to just stick to herbs and the factual evidence there is to say that doing this is going to help me?
How do I deal with that? I do get people from all different faiths come to me, and I feel like if they have some type of issue with their body, it's automatically, okay, this is natural, it's from the earth, it's not anything like, it's not hocus pocus, it's literally things that are grown naturally from the earth, so they're going to be okay with that. But anytime that they wish to delve into anything more, meaning, you know, I've been having these crazy dreams, do you know anything that's going on here? I've been feeling a presence in the home. Like, I've had somebody who is very Christian, and they went to someone and says, oh, can they speak to me? Because there's a child in the house that's not her child, and all the children are seeing it. She's also seeing it at the corner of her eye and thinking that it's one of her children, but when she looks, it's not. And then the child runs away. Now, that's somebody who is Christian, and they're blatantly seeing it right in their face. The children are seeing it and scared to go upstairs because they're like, yo, what is this? But it's a child, it's an essence of a child, and she's trapped there for some reason. Now, that person is Christian, but they understand that that exists. So if someone comes to me and they understand realms exist because they're seeing things, then that's different. But I would never push anyone into a space that they're not ready to actually delve into, because I know that it's not for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. thank you so much, because I know that wasn't an easy place to put you in, and
No, it's okay.
there was no plan
I'm
for
used
that.
to it.
Yeah, but I think that's what I really respect about our relationship, because as you know, I'm Muslim, and I'm very like, I'm not doing that, because you know, and you've been very accommodating, so I'm very grateful for that. Now, you've written a book. Parasites.
Sure have. Parasites, the hidden root of disease.
How did that come about?
See, again, messages through a dream. I always know that I've got that observation when it comes to certain things, and I've had certain experiences. And in a dream, I literally was talking to a friend. As I'm talking to him, all of a sudden I start choking in the dream. So I put my hand in my throat and start pulling out worms. All these parasites started coming into my hands, all different colours, and it was crazy. Like, as I managed to get them all out, I've literally said, I've got something to say about parasites. And then I woke up and I was like, whoa, okay, cool, let's start jotting some stuff down that you already know. And I just started structuring the book from there. I tried to only go into the physical, but it wasn't happening. I needed to go deeper. And okay, cool, I'm going to go into the spiritual element of it, the emotional, the mental, because people actually don't understand that all of these things, that whether it's depression, you know, whether it's mental illness, whether it's, all of these things are parasitic energies of some type, just taking over the vessel and doing what they want to do with that vessel. So they've got you in a space where you don't want to be, and cleansing in different forms is going to help that. So I understood that the book needed to be written.
And it's so funny because I really did associate the Parasite Cleanse with just food and its impact on my body. And so when I got to the chapter where it was talking about spirituality and emotion, you know, I was really grateful, because they were questions that were forming. And, you know, I mean, you know, literally I had like birds flying towards me, like the most beautiful butterflies like around me. I even had a squirrel, like, you know, stand in front of my car, like, you know, like it was a human. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, yo, what are you doing, man? You need to, hello. And I bibbed the horn, and then, like, as it was about to run up the tree, I was like, you can't do that. And he stopped, like, I was like, okay. So, you know,
most people don't actually understand that element of it. And the only way that I can describe it when it comes to like the emotional part is you get that gut feeling, as they say. The gut's connected to the vagus nerve nerve's connected to the brain. So the vagus nerve and the stomach are connected constantly. Communication is going back and forth, do you know? So if that's the case, just imagine, you know, what's happening when your emotions are in disarray and your mental's in disarray. What's going to happen? You're going to eat things that are not great for you and feel things that are not great for you. I also have a gift for you today. Yeah, some kale crisps.
Oh my god, I just love being Alex's sister and best friend, Ital, whatever. Oh my god, we're coming to the end. I can't believe it, and there's so much I've yet to talk. Listen, all I'm going to say is watch this one, yeah? Watch this one, and if somebody does want to watch you and stalk you, and I know you got stalkers, girl.
Yeah, I
have. Where do they find you?
Ital Alex Holistic Health on all platforms: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
Love it. You're the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. And that's a wrap. Oh my god. My battery ran out of thingy.
I didn't even realise you was live.
Really? Did you watch, guys? I hope you enjoyed it. Come. I'm gonna get kicked out of the studio now. Hi, how are you doing?
See, I brought her a gift, some kale crisps.
Trust me, I'm gonna eat it later. Bye, I'm signing out.